Hello everyone, today we show you the top 10 horror movies of 2023. Before we begin, please like and subscribe to the channel so we know we're not doing this in vain. Enjoy watching. Number 10, Kinderfanger. In the center of the plot of the movie Sinister, the beginning is a woman named Olivia, who works as a school teacher. Her life goes slowly and unhurriedly, but everything changes when one of her students suddenly disappears. After a while, several more students disappear. Since it seems that the boys just disappeared and the police can't find them, the heroine of Sinister, the beginning makes a decision to start her own investigation in order to understand what happened and restore the picture of what happened. Soon Olivia joins forces with Wallace to find the missing students. They gradually manage to find out that an ancient demon collecting children's nightmares and fears is behind these mysterious events. And although at first Olivia is skeptical, her fears are soon confirmed. The only way to save the children is to confront her own nightmares. Number 9, Consecration. Grace is an ophthalmologist and an atheist. She is the exact opposite of her priestly brother. However, such a great difference in worldview has not put a chasm between brother and sister, so when Grace receives the news of her brother's death, she immediately rushes to an island in Scotland to find out the details of the tragedy. Grace is housed in a monastery on Mount Saviour in Scotland. The structure dates back to the 12th century, when the Knights of the Morning Star came here to seek penance after the Crusades. Grace seems to think the place is cursed, though she is convinced that supernatural things are complete fiction. The girl learns from the investigator and the nuns that her brother killed one of the priests and then committed suicide. Grace does not believe that her brother could have taken this step. Grief-stricken, she launches her own investigation, looking apprehensively at both the police and the nuns. So does the Mother Superior of the convent, who assures her that the man was possessed by a demon, and that both deaths were committed in order to overcome this possession. Except that this version of what happened doesn't suit Grace either. The more Grace learns about her brother's past and the reasons that may have led to the tragedy, the more she begins to hallucinate about her childhood, the eerie-looking religious ceremonies taking place in the 12th century, and visions of nuns and priests throwing themselves off cliffs to meet death. Number 8, Heimsuchung. A young family of 3, the mother, father, and daughter, is involved in an accident. Hoping to provide their child with peace and quiet, the parents send little Hannah to her grandmother's house. However, at her grandmother's house, the girl's behavior changes drastically. Hannah begins to communicate with a certain friend who no one but herself sees or hears, especially at night. Michi, Hannah's mother, begins to suspect that her daughter is under a sinister family curse, which her mother, Hannah's grandmother, told her about. Terror has set in at her ancestral home, and to save her daughter, Michi decides to travel back in time to uncover the mystery of the family curse. It is the only way she can free the little girl from the haunting obsession. After the young family is involved in an accident, the parents decide to take their little daughter Hannah to her grandmother, hoping that she will find peace and quiet there. However, at her grandmother's house, the girl's behavior changes drastically. Hannah begins to communicate with a certain friend that no one but herself sees or hears, especially at night. Michi, Hannah's mother, begins to suspect that her daughter is under a sinister curse related to their family past. She has heard about it from her mother, Hannah's grandmother. To save her daughter from the obsession, Michi decides to travel back in time and uncover the mystery of this curse that has engulfed their home. Only in this way can she free Hannah from the horror that haunts her. Number 7, Unwelcome. Gremlins, Keepers of the Forest is a terrifying film that reveals mystical secrets about gremlins. The story follows Maya and Jamie, a London couple who grow tired of the bustle of the city and move to quiet rural Ireland to start a new life and expect a baby. However, their plans are disrupted when they discover cruel and bloodthirsty goblins lurking in an ancient forest near their new home. When Maya encounters tensions with the locals, she must find ways to protect her unborn child. Moving in after an attack in their own apartment, the young family faces the mystery and dangers of their new surroundings in the Irish countryside. A neighbor warns them that they should leave treats in the garden every night for the red-capped forest creatures, or they will inevitably attract trouble. Number 6. Gangnam Zombi. An epidemic of an unknown virus that turns people into bloodthirsty zombies grips South Korea. The first outbreak paralyzes the port city of Busan, and then the virus approaches the capital, Seoul. At the center of the chaos concerns one of the most prestigious areas of the metropolis, Gangnam. The office and shopping center is swarming with infected people. To somehow keep the healthy people safe, it is suggested that the building be locked down, preventing the zombies from coming out. Locked in the center remain those who have managed to avoid infection. Heimsuchung, a former serviceman and master of sports, a member of the national taekwondo team, and Min Jong, who happened to meet him on his way to work, find themselves trapped in a death trap. Taken hostage by circumstance, they try to survive among the hundreds of dead men out for their blood. Can they make it out of the building in one piece? Number 5. Children of the Corn. Children of the Corn 2023 is a new Stephen King horror film, presenting a new adaptation of one of his most popular works about a town where distraught children have killed their parents and organized a cult to worship a mysterious creature in a cornfield that roams among the rows and stalks. A 12-year-old girl leads the cult and massacres the adults with extreme cruelty, sacrificing them to the monstrous god of the fields. The protagonists accidentally find themselves in this place in the middle of Nebraska and find themselves drawn into the dark dealings of a cult of child reapers, trying to stop them and end the bloodshed before it's too late. Number 4. From Black. The main character is a young girl who wants to find out where her child is missing. She is desperate and ready to rely on dark forces. The heroine learns how to perform rituals. She has never dealt with the forces of other worlds and does not even believe in their existence, but she is willing to do anything. Over time, the heroine begins to get closer to figuring it out. What eventually happens to the protagonist, who only wants to find her child? Has she done everything wrong? Of course, she could have solved the problem herself, but it would have taken longer. The forces of evil are always around, ready to come to the rescue. However, fools do not understand that there is a price to pay for everything. Number 3. Sound of Silence. The protagonist of the mystical thriller Fear the Silence is a young woman, Emma, who flies urgently from New York to her native Italy. Her father had an accident, and he is now in serious condition in the intensive care unit. Emma settles into her empty family home, where inexplicable things begin to happen to her. When there is complete silence, at any sound or rustle, a sinister entity from the netherworld tries to attack her. Emma begins to conduct experiments and takes up her own investigation to make sense of this strange phenomenon. Soon the protagonist comes to the realization that it's all about her sick father. Number 2. Beau Is Afraid. The protagonist of the film is a man named Beau, who learns of his mother's death under highly suspicious circumstances. On his way home, he makes a disturbing discovery about his past. Along the way, the protagonist encounters a poisonous spider, a jealous teenager, a cult of orphans, a bounty hunter riding a bear, a phallic monster, and many other horrors. Beau is afraid of everything in the world and tries not to leave the house. And rightly so, the world is full of dangers and the streets are crawling with madmen. But one day, despite his fears, he decides to travel to his hometown. Now an unimaginably strange adventure awaits him, transcending the boundaries of space and time. Number 1. Megan. The main character, Gemma, is an engineer at a large robotics company. The girl uses modern technology to create a doll and calls it Megan. She adds many useful and not quite functions to the toy, including the introduction of artificial intelligence. Thus, the doll acquires the standard set of human skills, but strangest of all, it begins to think. Unaware of the peculiarities of her product, Gemma gives it to her niece, Kadi, who recently lost her parents. Assuming that in this way the girl will restore her emotional state, the heroine has no idea how many dangers the doll holds. Megan becomes a stumbling block between her aunt and niece, as well as baffling everyone close to her with her overly reasonable and scary actions. How will this close encounter between Kadi and Megan turn out? And so our selection of the top 10 horror movies in 2023 comes to an end. What do you think of them? Write in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll be grateful for the likes and subscriptions to my channel.